Okay, and in case you didn't know what cutting roots looks like, it looks like this. All right, just wanted to smooth out and straighten out the center of that borehole there, and also expose some of these roots a bit more. So I'm gonna go cut those now. This is what I've pulled out so far. And just to give you a sense of timing, I'm down about 3 feet, 3.5 feet, and I've been out here for 25 minutes.
Unfortunately, I picked a spot in my yard with a lot of roots, but that's the way it goes.
This is the first shovel load of gunk from the hole. This is almost entirely clay. As we get down deeper, we should find more and more sand. For now, it's just a hole of water, but I'm going to dig down as far as this auger will take me, which is about 5-6 feet. And then I will switch to the jetting method once I get the 4-inch PVC pipe down the hand dug hole as a guide for the jet pipe. You know how they say you can have something cheap, good, or fast? Just pick two. So here we're going for cheap and good, which means it's going to take a while. Most of the small roots are around the surface. Those are more annoying. Once you get past about 3 feet, you're almost home free. It's very unlikely that you'll run into a lot of roots below 3 feet. Whether you have a pressure washer or not, it is immensely helpful to wet down the area before you start digging. It softens up the ground, makes everything a lot easier. Now that I'm down below about 3 feet, the ground is getting a lot softer. There are fewer rocks and roots and other debris and various nonsense. It's nice and smooth, clay and sand. Okay, I had to take a break because it just rained outside, but While it rained, Amazon showed up with this sewer jet kit. This is for cleaning out sewer drains, and it's got some fittings. But the main sort of thing that I needed for this was this little nozzle here. It shoots a stream out the front, which will help us drive deeper, but also it shoots a bunch of streams out of the back to propel it downward in this case. So I'm going to put all this together and snake this hose through one of my 1.25" pipes and see how far we can drill. One thing I did before I want to start drilling is mark on the hose where and before I start drilling, I want to mark on the hose 10-foot sections, just because that's how long my pipes are, and there's no other markings on this hose, so this will give me an idea of where I am on the hose as I feed the hose into the drill pipe. It'll come in handy later. All right, this end will go into the pressure washer gun thing, and this will go down the 1.25" pipe, and it will hopefully blast a path down in the earth for our well. Okay. All right, let's do a test. Okay, it works, I think. I'm just gonna start out with the 4-inch pipe. If I could just set a weight on top of this, I could squeeze this trigger and it would dig itself. Okay. Pretty nice. So having these zip tie markers for length on this hose is useful because I can tell where the bottom is in terms of feet. So this pipe is sticking out about 4 feet, which means it's about 6 feet underground. Well, I've got a bunch of hose here indicating that I haven't really drilled that much further than the depth of this pipe. So I'm going to need to kick this pressure washer back on and try to drill until, well, probably about another foot, because the lance I have on the end of this hose is about 3 feet long. Let me show you that. Yeah, so this thing is 3 feet. So I really want to have to get this to the bottom of the pipe. I want this section of hose here to be 3 feet, and it's a little bit more than that actually. So let's keep drilling. Okay, this is the 2-inch pipe, and this is the one that we're going to try to get as deep as possible. I'm putting this coupler on the bottom. I'm going to turn this 2-inch coupler into my drill bit. I like that instead of doing it on just the pipe itself, I'm going to do it on the coupler because the coupler is a little bit wider than the pipe. All right, this is the 2-inch pipe that we're using for our, call it an inner casing, but we're also going to use this to do the drilling. And so to recap, this outer casing is 10 feet long. It's about a foot above the ground, so it's 9 feet down. And we're going to use this pipe with the bit I just made on the coupler on the bottom to jet and twist and drill as far as I can. This does not need to be watertight, and in fact we could remove, this does not need to be watertight, and so, and actually at the end I could remove this from the well if I wanted to. It is the 1.25 inch inner pipe that needs to be watertight and all that, so we're using this for drilling. Similar to the 4-inch pipe, I'll drill some holes in the side to give myself some twisting leverage, and we'll go from there. I just set this pipe here and it's already sinking, so I'm gonna get the jet in there and start drilling. That was easy. So the fact that that just sunk, that means that the fact that that 2-inch pipe just sunk the second I turned the jet on means that we removed most of the stuff that was in the 4-inch casing. Ideally, that experience is what will happen when we have the well pipe and put the well point on the bottom. We want that to just sink all the way to the bottom. Every now and then, if you hit a lot of sand, this little nozzle will clog up with sand, and even the pressure washer won't be able to get it out. And actually, you look inside of it, you can see straight through out the other side. and if you look through and there's no light coming through, it's clogged. An air compressor seems to work pretty good at unclogging these little things. I just stick the end right in the bottom and in the top, and blow all these little holes out. And see if I can show you the sand. See all that blue stuff left over? That's sand. For the past, I don't know, 5 feet or so, this has just been pure clay. Now I'm getting sand. All right, what I'm hoping for, and I don't know if this will happen, but I'm hoping all this blue stuff eventually goes away. I want like nice, clean, white or yellow sand. This blue stuff means clay, I think, basically. So I'm hoping to get to a point where I get the sand without the clay and the mud and the junk. This pipe length is still 32 feet, so we're at about 29 to 30 feet. Whoa, It started sinking. Whoa, it's sinking fast. Whoa, it just sank 3 feet. Seems like it broke through something. Alright, this is the current state of things. Pumping out a bunch of, whoops. There used to be sand in this. Now I don't feel any graininess, so I think this is just blue clay here. And we're pumping out quite a bit of it. And I like this sort of set it and forget it type of approach, because drilling these things is really hard. It's hard even with power tools and pressure washers, but makes it a lot easier. So I'm gonna let this run for a bit before I try to drive this down any further. Let it pump out some of this blue gunk. I drove the pipe past where the bit wanted to be, basically. I drove the bit deep into the clay. So I have to pull it back out a little bit. Yeah, I set up this little pump. Look. I set up this little pump I got from Home Depot to try to suck some of this water out and move it to a different part of the yard. Just right in here. Okay, so I'm going to let that run for a few minutes, and then we will resume. Okay, I'm about 41 feet, and this is the highest proportion of water to sand I think I've seen so far. Let's just get a little bit. Look how much sand is left over. And it's very, very fine and smooth. Something definitely has changed in the composition of the well pipe. Alright, so my hand is sort of clean here. Just get a little bit of water and tons of sand is left behind. If I can get more distance covered, pumping out stuff like this, I think that's going to be a good sign for my ability to extract water from the area that I've dug to. Okay, I'm gonna let this run for about 10 minutes just to let it, what is this? It's like, I don't know, charcoal or something? Oh, okay, well that's a piece of wood. I guess. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm gonna keep pumping. Okay, that very sandy blue water gave way to very sandy clear water. I just hold my hand under this little thing here and it fills up with sand. This water is nice and clear. I'm feeling pretty good that I finally made it. I'm gonna let this run a little bit longer. I can tell that I'm in sand because it seems like no matter how much sand I pump out, it doesn't get any easier to drive this pipe down. I think that's because every time I pump out some sand, some more rushes in to take its place, and I don't really get any space below this pipe to be able to drive it. I think that might mean I'm done drilling here. I'm not sure yet, so I'm just gonna let this sit here and run for about 10 minutes and see if it gets any easier to drive after that. Or see if the water changes color again. See, it's a little cloudy now, but still bringing up lots of sand. Now, I'm very conscious of the fact that I've got a well point that I'm going to drive, or that I'm going to drop through this 2-inch pipe. It's a 5-foot well point, and so that means ideally I'd like to get the point 5 feet below the bottom of this 2-inch casing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to achieve that, but as long as I can get a couple feet below it, I'll be fine. Also, it remains to be seen if I can actually pull this up maybe a foot or two, because the goal is still to get this as deep as I can. So those things are open questions. Water just got a little cloudier again, but still very sandy. Anyway, those are all open questions. I'll check back with this in about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, I'm on day 3 of the well project. I've got my drill pipe as down as far as it'll go. I'm still waiting on the PVC well point to arrive. So I've got other stuff to do, so I'm just gonna start on that until the well point gets here, at which point we'll drop the well point down through the drill pipe. I got this faucet here that I'm going to install. First, I've got to dig a couple feet down. It'll sit in the ground like this. The pipe connects at the bottom underground so that it doesn't freeze. But in order to connect it up, I've got to dig down a couple feet around the edge of my well casing. And I'm just going to reuse the same hole that I already dug, but just pull out some of the sand and clay that I pumped out of the hole. I thought this was a 1-inch. Guess it's 3/4. All right. I'm not a plumber, but I did read that when going from PVC to brass and vice versa, you don't want to use the Teflon tape, you want to use this stuff because it doesn't take up any additional space and will make it less likely for the PVC side to crack or something as you're tightening it. Now I'm using my pressure washer mainly to clean off all the stuff I got dirty over the past couple days. Okay, I'm just converting this down to 1/2-inch pipe, and I'll wrap that around. Okay, I'm gonna get some gravel and fill in this void with. I'm not gonna put grout or concrete to support this pipe, just because I want to make sure it's easy to remove later, and I don't want to have to break open this entire thing later if I need to do maintenance or unclog this thing or something. So gravel will work out fine for now. We'll get more heavy-handed if I have to. Got these cinder blocks lying around that I can use to platform the well pump. Okay, this is starting to look not too bad. Quite a bit more cleaned up than it was a few minutes ago. I'm gonna put my well pump right on these cinder blocks here. This is a pump I got from Home Depot. Nothing fancy. This is the pump I got from Home Depot. Nothing fancy. Okay. And that was the unboxing of my well pump. the hardware store I went to didn't have any clean out things. They're called clean out plugs, I think. I just got a regular PVC male end and a cap. So, and I'm going to use this for priming the pump. This pump and most pumps require priming with water, and so I can just pour water straight through the top here when I need to prime it with this, and have this valve open. And then when it's operating as usual, I can just tighten this cap. I won't need to prime the pump very often, hopefully, so I can just screw this on pretty tight and not worry about it very much. Hey, this is the PVC well point. I got a 5-foot long well point. You can see these slits that were cut into it. This one is from Lowe's. It's manufactured by Zoller. But I think, okay, yes, everything causes cancer in California. I got this one because it was available. These things are actually a little harder to find than I expected, so happy to have it. Gonna start connecting up the well point to the rest of the pipe and start feeding it in this hole. Okay, I've reached bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push on this a little bit to see if I can get it down another couple feet. Okay, where it's sinking a little bit more. Just kind of, there's something really hard at the bottom. I think this is why I stopped drilling, because I can, through this water pipe now, I can feel how hard what I'm hitting is. I don't know if it's a rock or something else, but I'll play with it for a minute and see if I can get any further. Otherwise, I'm happy to stop here, because this is a 45-foot section of pipe and I'm about 5 foot out of the hole, so I'm down about 40 feet in total. So I don't know if I'm going to do myself any favors by trying to continue to pound on this plastic point at the bottom. So I think I'm going to stop here, close this up, and connect it to the pump. Yeah. I guess I've got some clay pumping to do still. I'm filling up the tank pretty quickly. Oof. Yeah, okay, because the pressure tank has to pump through here, so. Never gonna have good pressure until I get all this stuff cleared out. I need to attach a hose to this. Oh, there's our clay water. And this is funny. So I'm getting clay water out of here, and I'm at 40 psi. So what's happened is sucked up a bunch of clay water, and clogged my filter immediately. Okey doke. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay. You really tell what I was working with and what's not, but I'm gonna keep running through this stuff, and I guess I got some clay pumping to do still. Looks like it just needed a little kick, so it stopped at 40 something. Alright, I guess that's fine. It's a 30-50 pressure switch, I guess that's fine. So, anyway, I'm going to fill up some buckets of water and see what this stuff looks like, and test out our capacity, and see what consequences I can unearth by the fact that my drill pipe is still in there. Don't know yet what consequences that will have, short or long term. Only way to find out is to test it. Okay, I guess at this point okay, at this point I've run probably 50 or 60 gallons through the system. The water's cleared up quite a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this filter. I've closed off the water, so I'm going to release the Alright, there's some sediment here, so I'm going to sort of blow that out. I'm going to close off the system, release the remaining pressure. Screw this, I always forget which direction. There we go. It's like driving on the other side of the street, kind of, because it's upside down. Even when you know everyone's driving on the other side of the street, it's still weird. Okay. Let's filter back. And I should be able to get through a lot longer between filter replacements now that all that gunk is out. Okay. Alright, everything is plugged back in. Let's see how this goes. Turn the water on. And there we go. This is nice clean filtered water now. Good stuff. The filter's still collecting occasional things, but it's not nearly as cloudy as it was. It's mostly clear. So, fountain is filling up. Water is nice and clean, nice and cold.